So how many months you guys spent?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think like the Japanese customers are really different from like overseas customers. So overseas customers tend to be a little bit faster than Japanese customers. But at the same time, enterprise in general are complicated. It takes time. We found that if your direct person you're talking with is a foreigner, it's high likelihood they will be a bit more fast when they process like contracts. And in our case, it took us about 3 months to get the first contract.
So thank you so much for being here. Could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah,
Batran.
thanks. My name is Batran, and I am the CEO of xMap. xMap is a location intelligence startup. It's located in Tokyo, in Japan, and we have been around for 1 year and 8 months. So it's relatively a new startup, and we raised a very nice amount of capital in Japan. And our team now is about 20 people, and we're working day and night to help our enterprise customers use location data in a way that really helps them in their business.
So many people have questions. Why map?
I used to be like a cartographer. So cartographer is the art and science of making maps. And that was so long time ago when I started my undergraduate. And at that time, we used to go to the field and we used to draw maps with paper and pencil.
You did?
Yeah, like actually you have a ruler and you try to measure the distances with a tape and make the map like completely manually on paper first. And since then I fall in love with maps. I mean, and the biggest, most useful app I use on my phone right now are maps to figure out like where to go, how to go. And it's such a complicated data structure. But then after then I studied at the University of Tokyo after that, also studied maps. Then I got my first job. I worked in Rakuten for 2.5 years. That was also maps. And then I worked in another startup. It was maps. And now I'm doing my own startup. And because I love maps so much, I call it xMap. So there's no more maps to explain what we do. So it's xMap.
I see. Now I understood. X is the last of alphabet. That's why.
Yeah, exactly. So the way we do about xMap is we bring all data and we put it with maps so you can talk to the map. So our business model is we allow you to talk to the map and we deploy our system in enterprise so that they can use generative AI on the existing mapping data.
I see. Interesting. So, do you remember your first customer?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's not so long time ago. It's been only 1 year and more. So our first customer actually was a Fortune 500 company, and it's located in Japan. And they had a very, very complicated problem, which is they wanted to do market segmentation in Japan to understand how many restaurants are available in the whole market, where they are located, and for every one of those restaurants, what are the attributions of those restaurants to be able to enter the market to structure their distribution. So they sell products to restaurants, and it was very difficult to acquire data about restaurants' location and restaurants' kind of information and so on. So that was our first enterprise customer since we started. Of course, after that, our product got matured so much, but I still remember it was a huge contract for us. And that's probably the reason why we started the whole company in a profitable manner.
So, big corporate, US and Japan, both tend to take time to get approved or getting contract, right? So how many months you guys spent?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think like the Japanese customers are really different from like overseas customers. So overseas customers tend to be a little bit faster than Japanese customers. But at the same time, enterprise in general are complicated. It takes time. We found that if your direct person you're talking with is a foreigner, it's high likelihood they will be a bit more fast when they process like contracts. And in our case, it took us about 3 months to get the first contract. And that was like a subscription contract. So every month, very stable, recurring revenue, and that helped us a lot when we kind of went in our journey.
I see. Okay, so meanwhile, these 3 months, like, did you guys provide kind of like a free trial or cheap trial?
We did a lot of free work, and we did a lot of valuable free work. Meaning, if you are just a company that just started and you get an opportunity to work with a huge company, it's an opportunity. So the money will come in all cases. So we provided everything we can, and we provided the maximum amount of value to our customers, solving really complicated problems that would have taken them a lot of time to solve. And that's why they were able to move fast to close contracts and to move to the next step. But I do think that we don't withhold value from our customers just because it takes time to procure. We actually start immediately and start delivering on our promises.
I see. And so it's common working with Japanese big corporate. Often we tend to be a kind of agency or consultant, like back and forth, like many small change or requirement, and then kind of sometimes tend to specific. And then this use case doesn't work to the company B. It's situation happened in your company or not? What do you think?
This is such a good question, and to be honest, this is the enemy of startups. Like, this is the hardest problem in startups: is how do you actually scale if you're working in the enterprise space? Yes, we did face the same thing, and yes, when we work with a huge company, sometimes you become more of a consulting company for them. So you keep actually making the product exactly for them, but we found a way to scale outside of that trap by separating the core product from the customizations. So the core product is a product, and it's a subscription product, which means like this is a product as it is, and it's subscription, and it's a base subscription. And then comes a customization, which is every client have different needs, and we have a different collaboration potential. This is with SI, system integrators, where this is their business model, which is they bill time and hours to client to customize the product for them. So at the moment, our products are subscription based, and it's a very standardized product. And whenever we put it in the enterprise customer, we do the implementation customization by ourselves, or we bring somebody else to do the customization. But the product itself is templated, and it's now deployed in multiple enterprises at the same time.
I see. I love that. Like template, and hey, you want to more like customize, so extra budget.
That's the way I think it works. But also we do understand that if you go to a big company, it's so complicated to adopt anything new. It's really difficult, and it takes a lot of time to engage people. So using a product is not just about the actual product. It's a lot about the existing processes and how do you fit yourself inside that, like in an enterprise space. So we found that there is no way you can skip customizations, but there is a way where you can put together the product as a template and also bring external people to collaborate with you. This can be even from the company itself, where their developers can build inside our product. They can create data connections into our product, and that helps to get from the how customizable the product is for our use case.
I see.
In the beginning, the hardest thing for a startup is that the CEO only can sell, because he's the only one that can explain a complicated product to the end customer. So we did a lot of work trying to simplify the message, like saying our product does this. This is our target ideal customer that we work with, called ICP, ideal customer profile. And we know that this product covers 80%, but those 20% is customizable. And those customization can happen with our partners, which is this company and that company and that company. And this way is the easiest way for us to scale, where I still remember the first time we ever got sales where I never had to attend a single meeting was the time where I thought this is amazing. Like when the enterprise companies start getting sales, where the management team or let's say the CEO doesn't have to be in the calls to convince a customer to buy. This is where you're ready to scale, because now it means that the product is simple enough for somebody else to go and take it and be able to kind of sell it. So we do have a very strong structure, which is our product can be sold to those specific customers. We know they want customization. those customization have a very specific team that can work on implementing it, and it's a recurring revenue coming in.
The 3 key takeaways from the conversation with Batran, Part 1. 1. Transform passion into product. Batran's journey with map began in university, where he literally hand-drew map using a ruler and tape. Years later, that passion turned into xMap, a location intelligence startup using generative AI to make maps interactive and smart. Example, instead of scrolling endlessly through map, you can ask xMap questions like show me all Japanese restaurants in Osaka with vegan options and nearby parking, and it answers instantly with data on the map. 2. Land enterprise client with value-first collaboration. The xMap's first client was a Fortune 500 company that needed in-depth restaurant market segmentation across Japan. Even before the contract was signed, Batran's team worked for free for 3 months, solving complex problems that would take the client weeks or months. Example, Batran's team cleaned and visualized thousands of restaurant locations in Japan so the client could decide where to launch their new food product first. That led to first contract, a recurring revenue deal. 3. Scale enterprise source by balancing product and customization. Instead of doing endless one-off custom work, Batran built xMap with a template-based product 80%, plus optional customization 20%, system integrators, or the client's own engineers. This move let the company scale beyond just Batran being in every meeting. Example, a logistic company uses the same core xMap product as the Fortune 500 client, but they plug in traffic and weather data, which xMap allows via customization. Meanwhile, Batran doesn't need to be every sales call. Okay, thank you so much for watching our episode today. We hope this conversation will help your future and career. If you like it, please subscribe us and give your like. The next episode is the conversation with Batran, part 2. Please stay tuned. Okay, thank you so much. Bye bye. またね。チャオ。